Introduction number 99, nearly at the end of our 101 series. Very, very good, very interesting. Don't know what we'll do after this, we'll see. Anyway, let's have a look at intro 99. Now, the problem with this introduction, as with so many, as it seems, and including in the 100, which we posted today and which I've been commenting on recently, people keep paraphrasing incorrectly. Using synonym and paraphrase that do not work. Don't do it. I've told you many times what you need to do. Change the word order, change the form of some of the key words, or use a synonym that is appropriate to or for the context. Not what a lot of you have been doing and keep doing, despite being told 20 times not to do it. So, let's see what you've done today. Many people live in large apartment blocks. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So you've got today, it's currently, presently, these days, apartments in large tower blocks. Now, some people were paraphrasing this as skyscrapers, which is not the same thing at all. So, live in the home, living, etc. You know, you can change that form, etc. Disadvantages, drawbacks, cons, pros, etc. Alright, so you know how that works. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Yes. Usually it's cheaper than if you rent a house. Usually it's safer because you've got to, there's like a doorman or door staff, and they can't just come into your apartment, whereas in a house they can just kick the door in. However, might not be as big as a house, lack of privacy because you've got neighbours to your left, right, up and down, etc. So, apartments in large tower blocks, currently home to many people, right? So you can see I've just, changed it round. Many people, apartment, large box, just changed the word order around. Okay. This essay believes, or in my view, cheaper rent, safer environment, outweigh the drawback of a lack of privacy and living space. Now, I know it says disadvantages and advantages, well spotted, but if you want to say, in my view, the main disadvantage is, you can do that. Or, if you want to say these are disadvantages, make them into two. Doesn't matter, as long as you've answered the question. So, nowadays people, because of many reasons, what's that? Right? It's simply a statement. Right? Now, some people were trying to give me reasons why that might be so. Who cares? It doesn't ask that. It's simply a statement. It says, many people, it's a fact, live in large apartment blocks. Is it good or bad? That's basically it. Broad apartment blocks. Broad? What does that mean? Broad? That's not the same as large. Several benefits more than disadvantages of this, eh? Several benefits more than disadvantages. In my view, cost of maintenance, life expensive in the place that this is a little bit long, I think. We don't really need all this. I mean, I just did it like in a sentence. That's all that you need for your introduction, because you're going to be explaining all this in your body paragraph, so we don't really need all that. On the one hand, right, there is no on the one hand, on the other hand. I commented this. There's no on the one hand, on the other hand. It's a simple statement of fact. It's not a discussion essay. Some think this, some think that. Look, simple statement. Many people live in large apartment blocks. Right? There's no on the one hand, on the other hand. Now, what you have here, high demand to rising population, on the other hand, insufficient free space. Is that right? It didn't ask you for reasons why this situation came to be. It doesn't ask you. So why have you told me? So That part's good. That part's not. You weren't asked that. The majority, now, I said this before, many is not a majority. Many, quite a lot. A majority, nearly everybody. Not the same, is it? Right. The preference to take great apartment regions for accommodation, great apartment, some of the paraphrasing in the introductions could be a little improved, I think. Great apartment regions, the preference. It doesn't say that they prefer it. Prefer it to what? To a house? Again, it doesn't say that. It's just a statement of fact. It doesn't say whether they prefer it. They might not. They might fucking hate it. However, that's what they have to do. That's what they have to live with. Maybe it's all they can afford. So, preference? Well, maybe it's not a preference. Maybe they don't have a choice in the matter. I don't know. But still. So, despite a few disadvantages, which are occupied by this belief, what belief are you referring to? Nobody believes anything. It's a statement of fact. A lot of people live in apartment blocks. And what is this supposed to be? I think the author said in the group that this is supposed to be the benefits, the advantages. Profits, benefits, advantages are not the same word at all. Right, so, vocab, what's your paraphrasing? Abide, nobody uses that nowadays. I abide in a share apartment, nobody uses it. It's a bit old fashioned. Live, what's wrong with live? What's wrong with that? I believe the merits, developments, modest drawbacks, whether it's comfortable, they're cheaper and safer. Okay. Great number of people. Now, many, quite a lot, a great number. A majority, nearly all, not the same. Live in apartment blocks. Well, some drawbacks to this training, assess noise, lack of privacy. Now, right, very good. This particular one, very good. Don't have to make any changes. No, they don't. Reasons which I've just explained. And that's not strictly the same. Not strictly the same. These high-rise buildings, these so-called skyscrapers, it's office blocks. It's not talking about those. It's talking about like into China, these big apartment blocks, in Eastern Europe, these massive apartment blocks. You might have them in Tehran as well. It's not strictly speaking talking about high-rise buildings or skyscrapers, which might be something else. It's talking about these big apartment blocks where there's lots and lots of people. Okay. But that aside, that part's good. It's not a vast majority. Right. Not the same thing, for reasons which I have said 2 or 3 times already in the last 8 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm not going to say it again. Now, are intended? What? Well, it's either intend, but are intended? What kind of construction's that? It's not an intention, it's a fact. So that doesn't work either. Don't need that. You mean people? Why not just say people? What's wrong with that particular word? And who says it's large? It could be small and shitty, like a lot of flats are. It didn't say that. It's nothing about intention, which is something that hasn't happened yet. It is my intention to write an essay. I haven't written it yet. So, intention is a statement of fact. A lot of people, many, live in apartment blocks these days. What's the good things about that? What's the bad things? That's it. Not a majority. Again, how many more times? Now, that's good. That's good, but it's just watch it. It's not majority. Now, a large number. That's good. Reside in flats. Well, doesn't say anything about that. Doesn't mention that. It simply said, and who knows why it might not be instead. They might not have a choice. So it might not be, I'll consciously choose to live in a large apartment block instead of having a nice house in the country. It's possibly for a lot of people, not strictly speaking, a choice. So it doesn't really say that. Certain potential reasons. Right now, okay, that bit's good. Good. Residential apartment dwellings, you mean large apartment blocks? Okay, right. It's not alleged. Allegation. It's not alleged. It's not alleged. It's a statement of fact. An allegation is unproven. That's why it's called an allegation. So, it's unproven, not the fact. So, to gain enormous popularity, it's not gaining popularity, is it? It's a large number of people, many people, right? A lot of people, a shitload of people live in large apartment blocks. Nothing to do with alleged. It's a statement of fact, and it's not popular. It doesn't, just because somebody does something doesn't mean to say that they want to do it. Why don't you simply say, and you've kind of turned it around, it's not the fact that apartment dwellings are great, so the idea of living in them is enormously popular. It's a lot of people live in large apartment blocks, possibly not by choice, so that's not quite the same thing. Why will they be analysed or analysed? Affordability is purchased as the main plus point, as the two major pitfalls. You mean, in my view, the disadvantages are blah, 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 blah. Okay, you know, making a vocab overly complex is not going to do you any favours with the examiner. They want clear, simple, effective communication. That's what they want. They've told us this a billion times. So, some not bad, one or two. Some could do with a bit of attention, shall we say. But the main thing, watch your paraphrasing. Right? Just watch it. Don't do it. Right? Change the word order, change the word form. Don't be doing things, introducing things that it doesn't mention. Right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep it simple. For introduction, body paragraphs, you can use a little bit more. But for your introduction, you need to try and encapsulate the main idea as closely as possible. In your body paragraphs, when you're explaining, you can say whatever you feel like. Okay? But for your introduction, try just to capture this. Add nothing. Omit nothing. Okay? Right, see you next time for Intro 100.